Success in real estate as a professional, as a real estate broker in my case, or as a real estate, or also as a real estate investor, really requires working with good people, good colleagues, good fellow professionals in other industries. And one of the key ones is title. And a guy that I've known of for a long time, have worked with, have closed title deals with before, as well as we share together inspiring real estate agents to build their business, is Dan Tran, the title man, or the title man Dan from Fidelity National Title. Dan Tran, what is up?
Hi, how are you? Happy Friday, Bill.
Happy for one of the business guys in title. He's always running in right now. We host our event every first Friday in Walnut, and he comes to that and says hi and gives us some good info. So I really appreciate you. Now, you are a title representative. I think your official title is Vice President with Fidelity National Title. So talk a little bit. How'd you get into the title business?
So when I had graduated from college, I did an internship at my first title company, which was Tycor. I was in customer service. I remember that day because it was Ash Wednesday and I had my ashes on, and everybody was telling me like I had toner on my head, and I was like, no, it's Ash Wednesday. And I remember the sales managers asking me at that time, do you want to get into sales? And I said, sure, why not? And they put me with a rep on Monday, a different rep on Tuesday, and another rep on Wednesday. And Thursday, they said, you're a rep. And
wow.
The rest is history. That's how I became a title rep in title insurance.
Now, the thing is, though, while there are title reps who really are kind of like your newest best friend, I know I've worked with you as a really integrated, intimate resource in title business, reviewing policies, looking for problems, talking about the business. So talk a little bit about how you have moved your business from just, being a brand new guy out there hustling, which is great to use your hustle muscle, but you've really leveraged it by bringing more resources to your customers like me.
I think what happens is a lot of people have relationships in the business. And for me, my strategy was, if I can help you with this and you can get a deal from it, can we do this deal together? And that was my strategy, my tactic behind it, because I'm not trying to break relationships, but if I can bring value and tools that we have, or I can connect you with a third party that can help you get deals or help you, close your deal with ease, then all I'm asking for is that deal in return.
So let's talk about some of the things. The first thing that always strikes me to anybody who's increasing business is your mindset. And I think it's really important that anybody in the business surrounds himself with people, video, audio, books, and people who help you develop the right mindset. And I know you are always on the mindset game. You are always talking about where to keep your focus and how to do that. So let's talk about that. What is it that keeps you on track? And how do you share that message with your customers?
Well, I mean, I think what I do is, for me to keep on track is, I keep my circle very small. There's the people that I trust and I value their opinion. I share with them what I want to do, and then they tell me how it's going to affect my business and how, whether it be positive or negative. And I think that, that's the kind of mindset you have to go to. You have to find people that actually support you and your business, right, so that you can, run a business. I'm not looking for fans. I'm looking for mentors. I'm looking for people who have the same goals as I do, and they want to grow their business and take it to the next level. I've been doing this for almost 2 decades now, and I don't even think I've scratched the surface of what I can accomplish.
Talk about some of the technical things or some of the value that you bring to a relationship, specifically as a title rep. Meaning, I appreciate your energy and your focus and your motivation and such, but I also know that you bring certain resources to the party, both your experience, knowledge, and certain tools. Talk about what you bring to the party as a resource or colleague to a real estate agent or investor.
A lot of the tools that we have is, we have like an app that you can pull up property information on the spot, things like that. I mean, there are times when you need to get, an APN number or details of a property on the spot, and we have that tool to assist you. We have probably the biggest game-changing app out there. It's been, promoted by, Tom Ferry. It's a Palm agent tool. It's called Fidelity Agent One, and it does a net sheet on the spot, whether it be for the seller or the buyer. The buyer, it even breaks down their payments, based on the loan that they're approved for. So things like that, it helps the agent, get things done in a timely manner, as opposed to waiting for somebody to turn around and create and email back a net sheet.
I think it's so important as a listing agent to present a net sheet. I think it tells the seller, hey, I'm accountable to this number. If it changes, I owe you an explanation and to document what changed. And every listing I take, I do a net sheet. I know that, we all got trained to do that, but I also know that less than 10% of agents do that, and it's critical. And our MLS has a crude tool that does that. But I would say to all agents, you need a tool that helps you do those net sheets and then save them and then update them as the price changes or commissions change or payoffs change, because you want to be as accurate as you can. And it's very, very important. It's a fantastic tool. Now, you also have a tool that provides public record information. You mentioned APM, but you also have a system where people can look up and see documents like how title was held on a property, or the details of a grantee, quitclaim deed, whatever. Talk about that tool a little bit.
So our title force tool, it basically breaks down all the characteristics of the property, who's on title, how they're holding title, and then they can click on the links that breaks down, the deed of trust that's recorded, right, and the grant deed that's recorded, which is all public information, but you have access to that right on the spot.
Yeah. And it's very powerful. And I do that all day long. I'm looking at properties. I'm looking at the deeds. I'm trying to figure out, was there a mortgage? Does the mortgage match up? Who the people are? And so for real estate agents, you have customers. One thing you should be doing is checking properties you sold. Do they take title in a trust or not? And if they don't, you can contact them about the advantages of getting some estate planning as a service as a real estate agent. So these are tools. And I think, Dan, the way I think of you and other, the 1%, the great title reps versus the 99%, is I feel like you all have kind of the same toolbox. It's like going to Home Depot, but the master craftsman is one who knows how to use the tool and use it properly to help with the business. So talk a little bit about, I know real estate agents are hesitant to call you and they have questions on this, but isn't that really what you do? And I think as a friend of yours, I would say, isn't that really what you enjoy doing, is helping people use those tools to build their business?
Absolutely. I mean, I have a phone call from an agent who's working on a deal, and he was asking me about the pre-foreclosure process. There was obviously a notice of default recorded, and I explained it to him, and I took the time and I made sure I educated him so that he would be able to help his client, navigate through this process and be able to sell before, a notice of trustee sale were to happen. So things like that. I mean, I coined the phrase, the choice of top producers, but whether you close 10 deals a month or 1 deal a year, you're going to get the same great service no matter what. I really enjoy helping agents, especially the ones that are brand new in the business, because the ones that you help that just get into the business, you build a relationship and they become the next Bill and stuff like that, and a client for life. So.
Well, but I even find even experienced agents who are successful don't really use you as much as they could because they don't want to waste your time. But I also know, just like teaching your children how to tie their shoes, once you teach the agent how to use that tool, they're going to use that to get more business for themselves and more for you. That's the goal of the whole thing, right?
Absolutely. And at the end of the time, I mean, I tell my clients all the time, feel free to have your clients reach out to me too if they have questions. Like in regards to you're talking about putting a property into a trust, it's always best to put your property in a trust. I get phone call from clients all the time saying like, my clients want to add their daughter on the title. And I say, why do you want to add their daughter on the title? Then, well, they're getting older. I was like, well, it's probably best you put the property into a trust instead of just adding, the daughter onto title, because, anything happens down the road, they'll have you listed because it's going into probate.
I don't give legal advice. I'm allowed to, but I've had enough attorneys confirm this with me. 99% of the time, even a bad trust is better than no trust for the most part. 99% of the time. Now, there's 1% that's going to get litigated. So all those of you watching, whether you're an investor or a real estate agent, I really urge you to reach out to Dan. If you're working with a title company now, but they're not a key partner in your business, that's what Dan's job really is. And I don't think you can wear them out, especially if you're a productive agent, you're doing business, but all your title rep is doing is sending you market material. Here's a guy who's going to help you use the tools, the net sheet, the public record information, and look at the public research to see what they can do to help your business. Dan, the best place we can put on the internet to you online, I think you said it was TitleManDan.com. That takes you to a Fidelity national website, has your phone number, it has dan.tran@fnf.com, but really your best email, I think, is what? TitleManDan?
At yahoo.com. I'm also on Instagram, title_man_Dan. as on Instagram. I post a lot of title information there daily, weekly, and stuff like that. There's constant changes. There's always something new that's happening, and I try to stay ahead of that wave so that my agents are educated.
And so I think it's really important. He also comes to our event, Agents Helping Agents, every first Friday of the month in Walnut, California. He's there almost every time. But we love you. We support you. We appreciate your help, Dan. Dan Tran, the title man, or actually I have it backwards, I guess, TitleManDan. Thank you for your support today. If those you're reaching out, the contact info is down below. Federally National Title, a great resource. Thanks for your time today. Appreciate you.
Have a great day, Bill. Thank you, everyone.